So kia ora everybody, I'm Jackie. I am the CEO and founder of New Zealand charity HeartPlace Hospital. I'm really excited to have you all here. It's my pleasure to introduce you to the HeartPlace Hospital Power Hour. It's a series that we've created. It's to support deep heart-led healing for those who care, serve and show up for others and for themselves. And so today session is the Inner Switch, 2-point healing and subconscious reset with Greg Jones, who is the founder of Transform Your Life from Within. So at HeartPlace Hospital, our mission is to make powerful healing tools accessible, effective and rooted in love. And these power hours are designed to offer rapid shifts, so supporting your body, mind, spirit in real time. So in this energising session, you'll be guided by Greg as he shares his two potent healing methods, so 2-point healing and superconscious recoding. These techniques help release stress, pain and limiting beliefs, resetting your inner system so you can return to clarity, joy and vitality. So take a deep breath and settle in and open to what's possible, and I'll hand over to you, Greg.
Thank you, Jackie. Thanks for a lovely introduction. Hello, everybody. My name's Greg Jones. I'm here from Motueka. We're on base, we're on board, but I'm actually on holiday at the moment with a little bit of business here down in Hamner Springs, just out of Christchurch, in a motel. So thank you for being here, and thanks for Jackie for inviting me to share this beautiful work. So we created Transform You Limited, which is a company, education wellbeing company, a couple of years ago, to bring all this powerful work that I've been learning from overseas to Kiwis, to New Zealanders, so I can spread the work around here and make some really significant change. I have a big desire to to really change the mental health system in New Zealand and be able to bring in some healing processes that are quick, fast and natural to better remove what's in the way of you having what you want, where it's all aches and pains, anxiety, depression, overwhelm, anything to family, past history or past lives even in the womb, anything at all that we can get rid of so you can have more joy, peace and gratitude and love of joy of life. So we specialise in mind, body and soul. So I'll do a little bit of education shortly after introducing myself, a bit more information on my journey. Then we'll do some really cool processes because I want you all here to actually have a shift. I want you to be able to get off the call at the end of it and feel lighter, feel more joy and feel more confident to be able to go out and take action to have whatever it is that you love. So if you want to throw in the chat there where you're from, the chat's just up the top there. You can jump in the chat and let me know. I've got it open. And also, if you have any questions that you'd like to throw at me that I can answer at the end, please also put in the chat. And if you want to put where you're from as well, that would be awesome. It's always good to know where our beautiful people are from. So we have this education company that I mentioned about. We have 2 certifications, full certifications in the Superconscious work, the Advanced and Superconscious Advanced certification and the 2-point certification. I have 48 coaches in those certifications. So I'm now a teacher of this work and I absolutely love it. But it wasn't always that way. Going back, rewinding the tape 5, 6, 7 years, I had massive anxiety, body sweats, and I was struggling in life and being extrovert, Leo the lion. I was creating a lot of events and activities and places where I could try and fit in, and then I'd have failure, success, failure, and success. So I thought there's something wrong with me. I thought I was broken. So I spent $100,000, quit my corporate job, and went on this journey to try and figure out where I went wrong or what was going on. I spent a lot of time as a child going through memories, trying to figure out if something happened to me and couldn't find a thing. So basically on that journey of trying to fix myself, spending $100,000 on these different modalities and a lot of the good stuff, as we probably know from overseas, the advanced stuff, I answered an ad on Facebook and went along to an event, a live event from a fellow called Chris, and he talked about these 6 sabotaging beliefs. Now these 6 sabotaging beliefs, which I'll share shortly, really align with me, especially one of them that don't belong in the world, which is when you fear judgment or rejection. So I was going through life, and that's what I would realise was causing my anxiety, my overwhelm, and my body sweats, is because if I went to put myself into a public environment, all this crazy stuff would happen. But if I was at home or with friends or family, there was nothing. It was fine. So I realised I had a fear of being judged or rejected by others. And since doing all this work now, it doesn't bother me. I don't mind if I'm not perfect. You can judge me and reject me any way you want. It's just fine. So how did I work all that out? Well, I specialise in going into trying to figure out how it'll work in the past memories. What is this entanglement? What's it all about? and was able to come up with powerful processes through that certification, which I spent $20,000 on and got certified, being able to remove the emotion of feeling and belief structure off the memories that's causing the pain structure. And I was able to work it all out and do it through the teachings and the different work that I was doing by never talking about the problem. Instead of focusing on the desired reality, on the creation, which I've got a book here, so I'll do some drawings for us. So basically we have our current reality, which is where we are now. And then we have our desired reality, which is where we want to be. Now, if we're wanting to have health, for example, health and vitality in here, and we don't have it yet because of overwhelm or sore body parts or dis-ease or anything going on that's in our way, then there will be in our current reality. So if we want to have health and vitality, that means there has to be more and this has to be less. So here we might feel like we're stuck. We might feel like we've got pain. We might feel we have low energy. And when we're in the structure, we are the identity of that structure. So what we need to be able to do is we want to go to have our health and vitality, and we go take action to create this new identity. The problem with it, though, is our unconscious brain, if we've been in the structure here for more than 4 to 12 weeks and created a strong habit around it, the unconscious then feels safe having this. So whenever you think about when you're going to have this, and you might go to have your better desired reality, more energy or better health, and you might go see a doctor to find out what's going on, and they might give you some idea of something to do. And you'll come in here, you might go see a specialist, and you come around here where you might go do some acupuncture, you might come around here, and you get stuck in this loop of trying to fix yourself, which is where I was. Now, all this education more in depth is on the website, gregjonesnz.com, which I'll share shortly, where you can watch an education video that will explain all the structure in more detail. But basically, in a nutshell, whatever we get stuck in our loops of trying to fix ourselves just gives us more of what we don't want. Now, when we go to have this, you might suddenly go have this, you might change your diet, have some success, you might do some exercise, have some success. But if you don't remove the emotion and pain, the feeling of the past memories that's causing it, or the belief structures, you will struggle to have what you want. Because a lot of the modalities out there in the processes believe that if you go around here enough, somehow you're just going to pop out the other end and have what you want. And as you can see, it's completely impossible because we're not even focusing on the health and vitality. Now, you might be say the health and vitality is what you want to be calm and evolve and be centered and grounded. So over here, you might feel like you've got overwhelm or anxiety or frustration. So every time you go to create that, you'll find this resistance in the middle. Now, these sabotaging beliefs, if I share my screen, you bit of an idea how they all work. Okay, go there first. We have these 6 sabotaging beliefs, and just sing out if you can't read that. So the first one is not good enough. Always feels you must prove yourselves to others. And you'll quite find that's very successful business people will have that, and they later on in life they start to get the anxiety and depression. And we see this in very well successful businesses where that business owners also possibly lost their relationship with their kids or been divorced because they're trying to prove to the world that they're good enough. The not perfect always tries to fix their lives. So quite often the not perfect sabotaging belief, you'll have your house or your work desk where everything's just perfect. But you're not normally creating big things because you're stuck and having everything around perfect. If you've got the not good enough, you may be creating big things and also be stuck in the not perfect. So everything's perfect and big. We can have a little bit of these sabotaging beliefs, or you might find that one of them resonates with you really strongly, more so than others, like it was for me. So I had a massive 80% don't belong and about 20% the not good enough. There's also the not worthy, always looking for recognition from others. Very, very common in accountants, lawyers and doctors where they're looking for professional status to fit in. The don't belong in the world.
Greg,
yeah.
we're just seeing your website. We're not seeing any of these slides, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Well, okay, so I'm not too sure how to change it. Okay, so we'll just stop sharing that. So the other one is insignificant, where you feel like there's a status, and then the not perfect, not good enough, not capable. We're always trying to do more. So quite often we have the not capable sabotaging belief that always start something but never finish it. Oh, this thing, when I finish that, I'll get what I want. And then we sort of start it, then stop. Then we go, the next thing, I'll start this. So you might have a whole lot of things that you've never finished because I believe I'm not capable. Now, with the unconscious believing these belief structures to be true of the morphic field, which holds us in place in that structure, if we go to create something and believe we're not capable, we'll have a fear of finishing it, because if we don't finish it, it proves we're not capable. So that's why we go to the next thing. And that's very common with swapping jobs, changing houses, buying a whole lot of online programs, and in some cases, not even logging in. There'll be another sabotaging belief of not worthy. So that's feeling like they're not fitting in. And that's when you have to do pretty much everything for everybody, hoping one day you'll get what you want. Now, all these sabotaging beliefs, there's nothing bad about them as such, because you're just stuck in the structure, and we can reverse it, because generally we take these sabotaging beliefs on in the first 0 to 7 years of our life. It might be, I feel like I'm not worthy in the world because mum will drop me off at preschool and I was crying as she left, and I was like stuck with all these strangers, so I must be not worthy or not good enough for mum to be able to do that. So we, as a child, take these things on. The cool thing about it in this work, we can reverse this. We can reverse it by doing powerful processes. So with the structure here, we can look at whether you feel like you're stuck, or you're flowing in life, or you're oscillating. Now, if we're oscillating, we feel like sometimes we have success and then sometimes we don't. Oh, today was a really, really good day, got things done. Oh, I can't be bothered today, things are in my way. Oh, I have really good health and energy today. Oh, today I feel really flat. And that's because the unconscious is pulling you back into this identity, because it believes it needs to survival here. Because just brain, so I'll turn the picture. I didn't do that good at art in school. But if we turn it around, say here's your conscious brain here, it's all about your ego and thinking. Then we have your unconscious brain here. It's all about survival, keeping things the same. It's also about feelings, where your feelings are held in your unconscious brain. And the identity of being stuck, the unconscious wants to keep us there because that's what it believes it needs for survival. It's just a survival loop, that's all it is. Now then, we also have the third consciousness, which is not a lot of people teach about, called just superconscious. That's the field of information. So if I was to look at a metaphor of those three, I'd look at, say, for example, wanting to say, we want to go out and climb a tree. We want to go climb a tree to get the best view in the world. I just want to be able to see out into the ocean or the valley or the mountains and get this beautiful view. Now, the conscious brain says, great, let's go do that. Let's have some fun. So you start climbing that tree and everything's okay till you get a certain height, like the height of the roof of the house. And then the unconscious jumps in and says, stop, what are you doing? You could fall out of the tree. That could hurt yourself, or you could die. You could kill yourself. So it'll start creating all this monkey chatter. What are you doing? You need to get home. You're not allowed to be up the tree. You're going to hurt yourself. It could give you frustration, stress, anxiety, and give you anything that wants to stop you going any higher because it's freaking out. The superconscious is the information that tells you which tree to climb, which is the best tree, which tree has the best view. What tree should I climb in the morning or the afternoon? It's your intuition. It'll feed you all this information. So it's really, really powerful for when we're wanting to take on an action of anything in life, and that tree is a metaphor for our creations, our desired reality, whether it's true purpose, our job or relationships or health, that we have everything in alignment and we actually understand how it all works. Because when we understand how it all works, then we can get the most out of it, then we can see our resistance and we can use the powerful processes to clear it. So that's basically a little bit of education for you. In this work, no memories die. We're simply removing what you want. You don't want to have more of what you want, so you get more satisfaction and less pain. So no memories die. All we're basically doing is taking the pain structure off it. Now, how that works is we have the memory from the past. So it's a traumatic memory. Attached to that, there is pain in the form of a feeling or an emotion or a belief structure. So in this work here, we can actually take these pain structures off that traumatic memory, which then turns it into wisdom. So a traumatic memory from the past without pain, once we take the pain structures off, becomes wisdom. And then it serves you. It no longer gets in the way of stopping you take action to have what you want, which is really, really cool, because when you can take action to have what you want, then you're having the success. And I truly believe that in all the work and everything that I've studied, that if you can take action to have what you want with ease and be able to take the action and have that daily and create it, then you're evolving into your higher self. And it's so much more fun to have that than being stuck trying to fix yourself and figure out what the problem is and just getting more of what you don't want. So beautiful. Thank you. We've got some lovely messages here. That's cool. North Canterbury, lovely Angela and Dunedin, Ellie, cool. Auckland from Aaron, Jackie, Mantu, lovely. What I'd like you to do is just type in there, give me a bit of an idea. Who's ever experienced that belief they're not good enough before? Just pop in there if there's anyone experienced they're not good enough. Give me a bit of idea. Me, excellent, thank you. Yes, cool. What about the not capable? Not capable in the world. Yes, great, cool, excellent. And who's ever felt that they don't belong in the world? I just don't belong. Great, cool, excellent. So that normally the insignificant and not perfect is there, but not normally as strong as these others. So what I reckon we should do is, let's clear one of them. What I'd like you to think about the not worthy, not good enough, not capable, don't belong. Definitely don't belong, thank you. And I'd like you to think about one of those ones that resonates with you the most. Which one resonates with you most? Yeah, Greg, that's definitely the most powerful one. That's got the most energy. The not good enough, the not capable, the not worthy, or the don't belong. Or it might be sometimes, Greg, actually I feel like I'm not important, I'm insignificant, or not perfect. Just pick one of them for me and we'll do a process and clear that. Now, when we're doing the processes and it's closed eye, the reason why we close our eyes, it's not trance or hypnosis or anything, but when we're closing our eyes, we're shutting down that conscious brain. Our conscious brain we don't need to work with because it just wants to have fun. It'll help us visualize and create and give us an idea of where to go, but it's the unconscious that runs the show. Just like when you're sleeping, it keeps your heart going, it keeps everything moving along. So we want to work with the unconscious. If we work directly with the unconscious without the superconscious, we're not always receiving all the information. So that what makes us work a little bit differently is we have the power of the superconscious to work with. Because the superconscious, the field of information, it's been there since the day you were created inside the womb, and it knows everything. But it's waiting for instructions. It's like your hard drive in your computer. It's just waiting for you to ask what needs to happen, what journey you want to go on, what information that it needs, and it opens up the folder of the file, and then gives you that information. So what I'd like everybody to do is to close their eyes and shut their thinking brain down. And just close your eyes, and what I'd like you to do is just to go and choose a desired reality. Let's just choose today health and vitality. So I'd like you to choose being healthy. Notice where you are and notice what it's like. Just choose that beautiful desired reality. Notice the foods and the exercise and the clean water. Just notice it all. Just choosing that beautiful health and vitality. Being in the outdoors, doing the exercise, going for walks or biking, whatever it is for you, just choose it. I choose that beautiful choice of health and vitality. Now you can sort of get the feeling around that. It should feel powerful. It should feel like you're enhanced by it. It should feel good. And really step into those feelings of having it. Just choose it to be true. I choose health and vitality. I am it. It's just true. And then being in that choice, what I'd like you to do, and just keep your eyes closed to the end of the process. I'll let you know when we're done. What I'd like you to do now is come down your timeline to being on this call here with me in your current reality. Notice what it's like now in your current reality. And these are the two different identities, the one where we are now in the current and the desired reality that I choose. And just notice being in the current reality, how it feels. Notice there might be some stuff going on. You feel a bit stuck or some pains, some anxiety, that not good enough. Just notice it. And then sitting in that current reality, I want you then to look forward towards that health and vitality and just ask your unconscious, what's in the way of me having more of that choice? And just notice what it says. What's it telling you that's in the way of that choice of your desired reality? And this is a great process to be able to unpack where you're stuck, what's going on. And then we know what to clear. And just notice if it's emotion or a feeling, or it's overwhelm or stress, just can't have it. Just notice what it's saying. Might be that it's too hard to have that desired reality. And then just notice those belief structures, the one that stands out for you, the not good enough. I'm not good enough to have that. I'm not capable. I'm not worthy. Just notice that. And just choose that belief before that's in your way. And then I'm going to take you on a beautiful journey. So now what I'd like you to do is to everybody to go up out of their body and into their timeline. Just choose that you're safe. And doing this process, you can have more satisfaction and less pain. So I'd just like you to go down your timeline. Go down your timeline and find that very first event where you created that belief structure. That not good enough, or that not worthy, that not capable or good enough, or that don't belong. Just find that very first event. Now, when you find it, do not go into it. We do not go into trauma. Just be above it, looking down on it like a bird. You may even notice with the event what age you are. That belief that's not serving you. And if you don't know what age you are, that's fine. Just know that it's there. Sometimes there's pain structure connected to it and the unconscious doesn't want to know about it, especially if you have done counselling or therapy before. It doesn't want to go there. We don't need to. We just need to be above it, knowing that it's there. And now what I'd like you to do is to draw a circle of white energy in your timeline just before it. And then be above that circle. Be above that powerful circle, and into that circle, I want you to put everything that you love. Family and friends, favourite music or food, put everything you love into that circle. I'd also like you to put the desired reality that you chose before of health and vitality. Pour that into the circle. Make that circle powerful. That circle that we're creating is a brand new event, and it's the opposite to the other one. Set the intent to get the most out of the process. Having that circle, that powerful circle full of love and gratitude and joy and everything you love, being the opposite to the other event. And then being above that circle, it should feel powerful. Just notice how it feels. And then what I'd like you to do, like that bird is, just turn around and fly back to now. Come back to now, flying above your timeline. And as you do, you'll notice all the events shift and change because that new one you created. Just flying above your timeline, heading all the way back to now, back to being on this call. And when you get here, keep your eyes closed. Just flying above, up through the teens, the 20s, 30s, whatever it is for you, heading all the way back to now. Heading all the way back to now. Sometimes it feels like you're turning over playing cards or flicking a light switch. You'll just feel your timeline upgrade. We're basically reversing everything you've created from that sabotaging belief that's not serving you. And when you get back to being in this room, in this call, I want you to come back down into your body and just breathe in the nose and blow all the stuff out from the past. Just breathe in and blow all the stuff out from the past. Beautiful. And now I'd like you to look to the past. Look back down your timeline and just notice how it feels different. It should feel lighter, more confident. You may even see some white energy, quite often is the case. Just notice how it feels different. The body should feel more relaxed. You may even notice a part of your body is feeling lighter where you've let go, where it was holding that belief, that information was stuck in your body. And now I want you to go back into that desired reality, that choice of having health and vitality, and just choose it. I choose health and vitality. Go back into that desired reality and visualize where you are and what you're doing. Just notice how it is. The foods, the exercise, the water, just choose it all. Just notice the power of that beautiful desired reality, and it should feel different. And then think about that sabotaging belief that was in the way before, and when you choose that, it should feel like that now that you are good enough or you do belong. Beautiful, and then open your eyes and come back. And sometimes we can find there's possibly maybe 2 events, sometimes 3, but not very often, but maybe 2 events where you have that sabotaging belief and you've got to go back. So we can do the process a couple more times if we have to, just to clear the whole timeline to that choice of health and vitality. But we can also use this work to increase energy in our health. Who here would like to do that process, have a little bit more energy? Yep, great, okay. So the first step is to close your eyes and choose having high energy. Just choose that and visualize where you are and what you're doing with high energy. Just notice where you are, notice what it's like, even notice who you're with, having this high energy. Being in the outdoors, taking lots of action at your job or your business, family, just notice it all. Doing the things that you love with high energy. Having all this energy for tramping and camping and walking and cycling or dancing. Having this amazing high energy. And then just notice this time we're going to pick a number between 1 and 10 so you can consciously see the shift. If 10 is you're stuck and you have like heavy energy, which we'll come to shortly in the current reality, and number 1 is you're flowing, having an amazing energy, just notice the number that you are currently between 1 and 10. 1 is good and 10 is bad, being stuck. Just notice what number comes through intuitively. And then being in that beautiful desired reality, that high energy, go down your timeline to your current reality, being on this call with me. Just notice what it's like now in your current reality. Might feel a bit tired or lack of energy, need more motivation. Just notice what your current reality is like. And then you're going to see that number between 1 and 10 where you are on that scale. You want to be number 1. You might be sitting at a 7. Sometimes you take energy, but mostly you can't. You might be a 4, where mostly you can have good energy, but sometimes you don't. Just notice that. And now what you'll do is go back into that desired reality and just choose having high energy. Being up early, energy all day, taking action on everything that you choose. And just go up out of your body into your timeline again and grow yourself younger. Now you'll be guided to an event that has resistance to that choice. Just grow yourself younger. Find that very first event that has resistance to that choice of having high energy. And remember, we don't do counseling or therapy, so do not go into it. Just be above it. When you find that very first event, make sure it's the first event. Sometimes you can be above the event but feel like there's something earlier. Sometimes the unconscious likes to hide the original events, just give you the easy option. So make sure it's the very first event that has resistance to having high energy. And just being above that original event, I want you to, same as before, draw a circle in your timeline just before it. And be above that powerful circle full of love and gratitude and joy and everything you love in life. Pour it into that circle, make it powerful. And being above that circle, I want you to put into that circle that you're safe, having high energy, that it's okay, it's just fine. And just notice what it's like, notice where you are, put all that beautifulness, everything you love of high energy into that circle, giving and receiving love from others. and that you fully belong in the world and you are good enough and you are worthy. Put all that into that circle as well. Make it powerful. That brand new event, just like before, is the opposite to the other events. And then being above that circle, notice how powerful that it is. I want you to turn around and now grow yourself all the way back to now. And just notice all the events shift and change on your timeline as you're flying above it all the way back to now. Let's just add a little bit more in there. If you're flying over your timeline and you see an event that's stuck, just drop a bomb of that white energy on it from that bird. Blow that event to smithereens. Completely flip it. Having more of what you want and less of what you don't want. Heading all the way back to now. Shifting all those events because that powerful new one you created. And when you get back into the room, back onto this call, just come back down into your body and breathe in the nose and blow all the stuff out from the past. Let it all go. And then breathe in again and blow it all out. That's just releasing it from the body. Now I want you to look to the past. Notice how it's different because that new event you created. Now go back into that choice of having a high energy and it should feel different. The body, the energy level should feel different. Just notice how it feels different. And then I want you to step into your intuition. And I want you to ask your intuition, what are my next steps to having more of this choice? This is how we bring intuition into this work, one of the many ways. This is a powerful way for your field to give you the correct information of what actions to take to have that beautiful intuition activated, to have more of that choice of high energy. Just allow that information to come through. What are my next steps to have more of that choice? Change my diet, more exercise, drink more water, get better sleep. Just notice it. And then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back. And then I want you just to think about the desired reality, the current reality. You had a number in between beforehand. Just think about, what is that number now? Should be closer to a 1. And then we use the number process in the structure just so our conscious brain can see the shift. The unconscious feels it, but the conscious brain, because it likes to have fun, it likes to see a shift. It's got nothing to do with the process. It's just the conscious brain to have an understanding around. So who noticed the difference in that? If you want to throw in the chat, you can do. If you want to notice what came up for you, you're feeling lighter, you're feeling more energy or more confident or good enough, or come up for you out of those two processes. Went from a 4 to a 2. Awesome. That's great. So you halved the resistance, Jackie. That's excellent. Yeah, cool. Great. 50% reduction. That's awesome. You can, like Jackie has, throw the number in there if you want to, with the number you were beforehand and where you are now. And then we'll jump into the next process. And like I said, the numbers doesn't have anything to do with the process. It's just the conscious brain to be able to see that shift. Because when the conscious brain sees a shift, it wants to have more fun. And the unconscious has more trust and more feeling safe around the processes. It takes, a couple of sessions to the unconscious to give us more and more and more, because once it understands this work, because all our work with focusing on our desired reality and then noticing where we are and then noticing what's in the way and then doing a process to remove that, it's a different structure from what a lot of us are used to. So it takes a couple of sessions for our brain to get around it, to get to understand the work. So who here has ever experienced frustration? Anyone else ever experienced frustration? What about overwhelm? Any overwhelm? Yes, lovely. What about stress? Who here has had stress? Yes, Excellent. That's a great question. Andrew's got a question here. What do you do if you can't tune into the events? Great questions. So first of all, it's just a bit more education and understand the process. I've only got an hour, so I'm trying to squeeze in as much as I can for you beautiful people. But it's really, just be a little bit of an unconscious block there with being able to see the event. Now that's one, is the event has a whole lot of pain attached to it and it doesn't want to go there yet. Two, the imagination's been blocked as a child. You might have been at school, and this is very, very common that you're at school and you're drawing a picture and you get told off by the teacher, or you do something arty and the family member or the neighbour tells you that you're not good at it or it's hopeless. Don't do that. Stop dreaming and focus, concentrate. So there'll be some block of pain point there of blocking the imagination. So we just have to do a couple of processes to clear that. There's also a great way to get around to that is to listen to meditation, and I'll offer that at the end of this call, where you can have a $400 program for free, which has meditations in it and more of this work. And you can actually teach the unconscious brain over a month, or even over 5 to 10 days, to actually feel safe having imagination. So that's pretty much all it is. There's a block, there's a pain structure of a block. When I first started doing this work, I had zero imagination and I could hardly see a thing. And I used to think to everybody's got such great intuition, great imagination, they can do all this stuff and I can't. So that's what I did, is I went into processes around it, listened to meditation and just visualize having great imagination. After 5 to 10 days it started to shift, and after a month I started to be able to see and read the field. So great question, thank you. And remember, every question is a good question because it helps all of us learn. So let's go into an emotion or a feeling like before, where I just mentioned, that doesn't serve you. I want you to think about an emotion or a feeling you've experienced today or this week or yesterday. Something triggered you at work, some family triggered you, something was annoying, or you got frustrated or overwhelmed or stressed, or got some anxiety or depression or anything. I want you to think of something. You don't have to share it in the chat or anything. I just want you to think of what you don't want, and we're going to clear it in this next process. It's a very easy process called a magical ball. And the magical ball process just clears anything consciously. So what we're basically doing in this work at the conscious level is we have all these neurons, all these memories, and that memory is a neuron, and you've got millions of them in your head, your heart, and your gut. And then we have the pain structure connected to that neuron. So basically what we're doing is we're disconnecting the neuron, the pain, the structure, the feeling, the emotion, the belief structures leave the body, and that becomes a wisdom. So you'll probably be, no doubt you'll be feeling a bit lighter after the processes today. You'll be feeling like there's a lighter in the body. That's because that pain structure has left your field, it's left your body, it's no longer stored in there. The good thing is it doesn't come back because you've cleared that memory on that desired reality, on that choice. You may still have a sabotaging belief to a different choice, like being a great mom or a partner or true purpose or predominant creative force or artist. Might still be connected to that one, but we've cleared it on the choices we've chose today around health and vitality. So as we're going through life, we have what we call triggers. Who's ever had a trigger before? Beautiful. Yes, those triggers are caused by the emotion feeling attached to that past traumatic event. As I drew before, we can draw it this one again. So there's an unconscious brain there. So we have that traumatic memory that's attached to it with emotion of feeling. What causes the triggers is that emotion of feeling or that pain structure connected to that trauma of the past. And what happens is you'll be walking down the street, or you see something, or something happens, or someone says something that can't have what you're hoping you're going to achieve, that gets in the way, and it triggers you. Now what it does is the unconscious brain actually brings in the past event, but it brings all the pain with it to trigger you. And that's when we get, for example, you're feeling really good, really happy, everything's going really well, and then all of a sudden you're grumpy and you're like, I don't know what came over me. That's what's happened. There's all that's coming into your active experience, into your field, triggering you, and it's trying to activate the fight or flight. You either fight for it or you run. And that's because when you're a child, something happened and that got created. It could have been bitten by a dog. So every time you see a dog, you just want to run, or you're going to have to fight that dog so it doesn't bite you again. So none of it's true, but it's attached to past memories. And the unconscious is trying to protect you, believe it or not. And what's the best for you is trying to get you out of a structure. Oh, when I was 7 years old, this person yelled at me and abused me, and it was a stranger, so I struggle now being around strangers. people that are, especially that are older, like there'll be that trigger will still be there. So we need to clear all these past memories that have the triggers, the pain, the emotion, the feeling, the belief of it. Now, for me, it took me 7 to 9 months just in a masterclass process without one-on-one to clear all this stuff. So I was experiencing anxiety daily, the body sweats, feeling like I actually did real estate for a while, funny enough, because my wife was into it as a PA, and she said, "Oh, Greg, come and do real estate." I was like, "No, I don't want to do real estate." Anyway, away I went, did real estate, and there's a fun aspect to it, but then there's also all the other stuff, which is kind of what I left. But anyway, we wanted to always be different because we moved to a town where we knew absolutely nobody. It was very hard to get listings and hard to get ahead. And so I said, "Oh, okay, I'll do videos of properties." That's a great idea, Greg. So I was called the Take 10 guy. So every time the guy would say, "Right, go," I'd be like, "Hey, I'm Greg Jones," and I'd stutter and make up my own words. I'd get the address wrong, which I knew the house because I'd listed it, and the owners and bedrooms and square meter. I knew it all. And as soon as you turn the camera off, I could talk and just go, "Oh, there's Greg Jones. It's 4-bedroom, 220 square meters, 11 Stand Lane Drive," and I could say it very easily. But as soon as I knew it was recording, my unconscious is like, "You are not doing this," because someone could repeatedly watch it over and over and over and judge you, which is rejects you, and that proves you don't belong. So I will not have this structure going on. So I really battled with it. Really, really struggled with it. And after years of doing it, family photos, all that sort of stuff, I figured out I was broken, there's something wrong with me, and that's what started this big journey. So that's a little bit about that. So I want you to write down what come up for you before about emotional feeling that doesn't serve you. Just think of that word. Frustration, anxiety, body sweats, whatever it is. Pick one that's got a lot of resistance, one you really don't want. Get a goodie. Don't want that anymore. And this magical ball process is a really good one to have in your back pocket. It's really easy. And then after that, we'll get into some 2-pointing. Once you've got that word written down, just look at it and just say, set the intention. I no longer want that. I do not want that anymore in my life. And then the next step is to get your eyes closed and feel relaxed. And we're going to do this magical ball process. It's fast, it's easy, and you can use it all the time. If any of you are working with teenagers or you have kids that get stuck with stuff, I use this with my kids. Magical ball is a great, easy concept. It's fun, they love it, and it really does remove their overwhelm, and especially with teenagers, a lot of the stuff they're going through with high school and peer pressure and all that sort of stuff. I did it for my son's lack of confidence in his basketball competition. A couple of weeks ago, I did it with Bella. She's 10, and she was scared to go on stage for a dancing competition. So we just took away being scared and that fear of it, and then she went on and she got a 3rd and a 4th in her first ever dance comp. So really great for anybody, friends, family, clients that are stuck in something. So what I'd like you to do is just have your eyes closed, and I'd like you to create a magical ball in front of you on the floor. This magical ball can be of any beautiful color that you choose. It might just be of a powerful white. Just have this magical ball. It's there to serve you. It wants the best for you. And then inside that magical ball, and even if you're having trouble visualizing that ball, just visualize a balloon there, a balloon of energy. Remember, there's no right or wrong in this work. Just make it all up in your mind. And inside that ball of energy, I want you to put that word that you do not want. Whatever that was, the frustration, anxiety, whatever it was, put it in that magical ball. And then just looking at that magical ball, looking down at it, notice that it starts to grow and get bigger. It'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger. It'll get bigger naturally. And just let it grow as big as what it wants. And eventually it'll grow as big as what it wants, as the size of you or the room, the house or the town, biggest part of New Zealand or the world. Doesn't matter, just let it grow as big as what it wants to. And eventually it'll stop when it's it's ready. And then being above that ball, noticing that it's now bigger than you, now grow yourself to be big and powerful, more powerful than that ball, and look down upon it, looking down at that ball. That ball of energy with that word you do not want in it. And now being bigger than that ball, looking down at it, you'll notice the ball starts to shrink and get smaller. It'll just get smaller and smaller and smaller and fade away to nothing. Just fade away to nothing. And once it's completely gone, eventually it'll just totally evaporate into nothing. Once it's completely gone, you can open your eyes and come back. That is the process. So now you can think about that word that you don't want, and it should feel different. Once again, all we've done and all the processes that we have in both the certifications and all my work is we're just undoing that neuron. What you don't want leaves the body. The neuron becomes wisdom. Undoing the past. Have more satisfaction, less pain. Did anybody here have that magical ball and did it not work? Did their word not disappear afterwards when they think about it? It feels different. So I'll make sure that it generally works 100% for everybody, but sometimes it can be little blocks. Cool, excellent. Right, so when I was learning all this, these processes from these modalities overseas, my mother-in-law had fibromyalgia, fused discs. She had arthritis of fingers. She couldn't close them. I said, well, what else do you have going on? She was on all these different pills. And she basically wanted to be a great grandma to our kids and stuff. And we had the situation when the kids would stay there. If the kids ran out the front door, she wouldn't be able to do anything. She was sleeping downstairs in the house. She couldn't even open up a can of spaghetti anymore or get the clothes out of the washing machine. And I said, oh, Mrs. D, we call her Debbie. I said, I know this. And she's got a testimony on the website. I've learned all this cool stuff. I've been having massive success with arthritis, autoimmune disease, heart palpitations, all this stuff. I said, I can help. She's like, oh, no, Greg, I don't believe in that stuff. I'm too old school for that. I was like, oh, okay. So I thought I've got to go learn something else. I've got to figure a way out to heal her, because we're just basically, in the work that I've done, especially with autoimmune disease that I've worked on, had 100% success with them. It did take 12 weeks, because things take time. But getting that success, I was confident I could find a way that would help her. And I'm glad she said no, because it sent me on this beautiful journey. So I went back to studying, searched the world for a way we could heal in the field without touching the body, etc., so that I could do a process with her that would relieve her of her pain, if not get her some comfort, so she can at least walk properly, walk around the block, etc., and be with the grandkids as she wants to. And come across Matrix Energetics by Richard Bartlett and Melissa Joy. So once again, I brought the books, read the books, bought the video programs, went through all the certification, went through all the ticket stuff, watched it all, and started practicing on my existing clients this 2-point process. And what I loved about the 2-point, although when I first watched it, I thought it was a load of bollocks. I thought, how can that do that? It's almost impossible how you can shift someone in the field physically so quickly. So what I learned with the love about the Matrix Energetics, which we call the 2-point, the 2-point was the current reality and the desired reality. So when we can find these points of someone's focus, when they visualize something, we can find those points intuitively, bring them together, and that upgrades the client at their end, which was really, really amazing to me that it could even be a thing. So I was guided a little bit different from how Richard does it. So it was more teachable, and that's when I created the second certification, which is the certification of the 2-point, and it's got some other cool processes in there, like the negative flip belief. And I basically learned that to heal her. So I was practicing with clients in the healing room at home, getting great success. I was practicing online. It was working. It's like, right, I've got to get this to Mrs. D. So sometimes she'll let me do a light massage, which I was doing. And I said to her, I've learned this new thing. Can I practice this 2-point on her? So basically I 2-pointed her shoulder, I 2-pointed her arm, then I did a wrist and her fingers. And I said, just close your fingers and see what it's like. So she closed her fingers and she said, oh no, Greg, it's going to be too much pain for us. And I just keep going. So she closed them, which blew me away as much as what it did her husband and my wife, Kirst. And she was so blown away. She said, oh, can you do the other hand? Can you do the rest of the body? So I said, Yeah, sure. So ended up doing 5 sessions with her for everything, and now she's completely healed and off all the pills, and even the doctor gave her the certificate of being set free from it all. So that was a beautiful journey. That was like a year and a half ago, and she's 66 now. Sometimes she gets different aches and pains, so we just do some more 2-pointing. But she is free from all those diseases that was no cure for, that she had been struggling with for years. So understanding the power of the 2 points, and then now being a teacher of this work with my 48 coaches and the certifications, completely changed my life. And that's where I am now. I still do my one-on-one sessions with everybody, but I'm also the teacher of coaches, which is something I've never seen happening, which I truly love. Now, Mrs. D, Debbie, her testimony is on the website, as I mentioned, and she's a walking example of how we can heal anything by getting out of our own way. And all I did it was basically on structure. So I can work individually on people's points of body that are sore. We can upgrade them as we go, but because we've got a group here, I reckon that we choose something like living a life you love and remove some resistance to experiencing more of that. Who would be keen to do that one? Yep, awesome. Great, okay. So first thing, we have our desired reality, current reality. When we find those 2 points, when you're visualizing it, I can find it in the field and bring those points together. I've just shown it intuitively. Because if you say, for example, if you haven't got much time left, but if you were to like visualize last time you brush your teeth, you better put your finger up and find that memory in the field, because the field is just all memories. So it's kind of like the same process. I'm just finding those memories intuitively and removing what's in the way. So what I'd like you all to do is to close your eyes and choose living a life you love. And just notice where you are and notice what you're doing with it. Living a life you love. Just choose it all. And just notice you created it all. The travel, the friends, the family, the barbecues, and the summer. Living a life you love. Spending time with family, reunions, being in the outdoors, whatever it is for you. Doing some art or musician. Just choosing a life you love. And then I'd like you to go up out of your body into your timeline, grow yourself younger, and come down to your current reality, being on this call here with me. Notice what your current reality is like. You may sometimes be living a life you love, but sometimes not. You may notice that there's massive resistance and that you're not there yet. Just whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Just notice what your current reality is like. And then choose that number between 1 and 10. 1 is your desired reality. Number 1 is everything you want. And number 10 is you're stuck. What number comes up for you? If you're living a life you love 24/7, you'll be a 1. If you're not having it at all, you're stuck, you're at a 10. So just notice what number you are. Great. And then what I'd like you to do is go back up to that choice to your desired reality and just know what it's like having that life that you love. And just choose it. I choose a life I love. Just notice where you are, notice what it's like having that. Choose a life I love with friends and family. Notice what it's like having that. And just visualize that travel. Doing your favorite hobbies. Just choosing a life I love. And then just being that desired reality, then you can open up your eyes and come back. And then just think about that number where you were beforehand and where you are now. There should be a shift in that number. And that's the consciousness that we can shift consciously by using these points. The 2 point, all I'm doing is finding those points in the field and just bring them together with my hands. Because there's a few of you, there's quite a few different points, but you just work with them as it shows you. Great, Jackie from a 3 to 2, great. So we can see there how we can upgrade consciously working with someone online. And this is how I healed Gillian, who's working now with our company. She's now in training up to run over the coaching of the coaches in the processes for the certifications. Last year, she bought our arthritis program. She was 23 hours a day stuck in bed, full arthritis in her whole body. Her daughter had to take her to the shower, had to take her to the toilet. She had 1 hour a day. Her daughter would do that. Apart from that, she was fully bedridden. So I started working with her over 12 weeks. We got her pain-free up and walking, and now she is walking and going to the gym, and she's pain-free, and she's a beautiful example of this work. She was so blown away. She bought the certifications. She got certified. She's going through the second certification. She's nearly there, and now she's healing people with arthritis, which is such a profound thing, all in less than a year. So Gillian's testimony is also on the website, etc. But I healed her online, which is what I'm really trying to say, is all online over 12 weeks, and I never even met her. She flew up to Motueka for the 2-point workshop in November last year, and that's the first time I met her. And she walked off the plane, and there she was. So very, very, very cool. So the 2-point is very, very powerful to work online or in person, whatever you want to do. That's the power of it. It's Richard Bartlett's work. It's not, most of this work's not mine. I've been guided to learning it for sure, and then I've duplicated it in a different way and added what I've been guided to intuitionally with it, and that's what I believe makes it quite powerful, is we've put our own little twist on these beautiful things. So if you've got any questions, you can throw in the chat. I'm happy to answer, and while I'm doing that, I'll just share my website for you, and you can have a little look. So here is me down in Motueka. And you'll see here you got home, contact, 2-point healing. So 2-point healing, you go in there, it's got body healing. This is gregjonesnz.com. And here you can click on the body healing or living life without arthritis, and that gives you all the testimonials, etc. Everything in regards to that. And then down here you'll see Gillian's testimonial at the bottom. There she is right there. This is end of last year, this testimonial. And you better see her. She talks about what she had. Dani here had autoimmune disease. When I started working with him, he was on crutches. I did this video like 6 months after I started working with him. He had a little bit of pain in one of his feet from Panadol. Apart from that, no more crutches, gone, doesn't know where they are. Here's another video I did with Gillian. You can check out her story from 23 hours a day to now being fully healthy, no pain whatsoever. And then there's also products and services. Here, if you want to have a session with me, you can book it online, and it's all very easy. You can pay by credit card, or you can email me or reach out to me. All my contact details are there, and I can make a time that suits. And here's like some Charlie here. He had heart palpitations. He said it was 1 session, but it was actually 2 sessions clearing it. And yeah, more testimonials. Healed thingy's neck. He had an Achilles. He had an Achilles and a sore neck ever since he was 7 years of old, and once again cleared it up in a couple of sessions. So if you want to have any more work, or even jump on a strategy call and talk about where you're at and what we need to shift to get out of your way, there's no charge. I just love sharing this work, the information. And yeah, I'm happy to offer you that. Or if you just want to jump straight and book a one-on-one session, you can do. Up the top there's a free Inner Power Starter program. You can click on that and receive some videos, the magical ball, and just some more information, education stuff that'll get your unconscious brain ready to remove more of what's in the way. So yeah, that I think must be my beautiful hour. Is it, Jackie?
Beautiful, great timing. Thank you so much, Greg. And it's great to have it interactive. And also just want to point out that with HeartPlace Hospital, where we have Southern Cross funding, so if anyone's a Southern Cross member, or if you work for an organisation with Southern Cross EAP, so many of the DHBs and other organisations have that funding, then you can go through HeartPlace Hospital and we can support you to access support from Greg. We've got over 53 service providers, so that range from mind, body and soul, and meet you where you're at. So reach out. I'm going to send this recording out to everybody, so you have this with an email with all this information, so you can access either Greg or I via that email. So thank you so much, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.
Lovely, thank you. Thanks everybody for being here, and Jackie, thanks for the opportunity to share the work. I love it. So someone's actually got the web address is gregjonesnz.com.
I love it too.